Hello, this is Mrs. Schuver. Today we'll be working at evaluating expressions. So there's a certain type of expression that we'll talk about in a minute. And we're on our guided notes. In our packet, this is page 13 and 14. There's another paper that looks similar, but that's our homework paper. So today we're all going to try to work on the guided notes part. And quite frankly, when I look at this, it looks a little bit intimidating. There's lots of words and lots of information, and all this is our vocabulary words, the words we want to know what we're talking about, along with some examples. So let's start right off. Expressions that are comprised, which means made up of, numbers and operations. So I want you to underline that or highlight it, whatever you prefer to do. We're looking at numbers and operations. By the way, operations are adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, are called numeric expressions. And I don't know if you kind of see what this word kind of looks like. It looks like we're going to start spelling the word number. And that's what it means. Numeric means numbers. We can find out the value of expressions by completing the given operation. So in other words, if they give me all numbers, I'm able to figure out what these expressions are, their value is. So 3 times 7 would be 21. 15 divided by 5 is 3, and 3 plus 7 is 10. So we can figure out when they give them to us all in numbers or a numeric expression. And we've been working with those when we work with integers. The next vocabulary word is algebraic expressions. Isn't that an awesome one? Algebraic. And so that has the word algebra in it. Algebraic expressions contain numbers, operations, just like the numeric ones do, and this is specific to it, it contains variables. This should be a B. Variables are alphabet letters that are used in place for unknown quantities. So we have 20, which is a number, minus, which is an operation sign, and then a variable. So 20 minus W. And unfortunately, I cannot figure out what this is because I don't know what W equals. And X plus Y, well, I know two numbers are being added. I just don't know what the numbers are. So they're unknown numbers. Next, to blank an algebraic expression means to find the value or answer of the expression. And we've used this word now this past week, and the word is evaluate. So evaluate. And one of the things that I like about this word is it has the definition right in it. We find the value of the answer. It goes on to say we can't do this unless we're given numbers to fill in where the variables are. In other words, if somebody told me what W was, I'd be able to tell you what the value of that expression is. So our final vocabulary word is when we fill in or replace a variable with a number, it is called blank for the variable. And you've heard this word before. It's just used when I am out. We get a substitute. So we're substituting for the variable, which means instead of being W in this example, filling in for W might be the number 5. So we call that substituting when we replace this variable with an actual number. So to continue, we must rewrite the expression showing the substitution, meaning the number that we replaced, to make a numeric expression, which means all numbers, no variables. And finally, that's how we're able to evaluate or find the value of the expression. So I know this is a lot to take in, so let's see what this looks like. When we're asked to find the value of algebraic expressions, they often give us numbers to fill in. So they said for the following expressions, let x equal -4, y equal 9, and z equal -8. So that's a lot of information. So I think, again, I might use a highlighter. Doesn't matter what color. These colors don't have any meaning right now other than the fact if I see x, I'm going to fill it in with -4. If I see y, I'm going to fill that in or substitute 9. And if I see z, I'm going to fill that in or substitute with -8. So if it helps you, you could go back and you could go ahead and highlight the numbers that you know that will be -4. And then where I see y, oh, this is a y, so I'm going to fill it in with 9. This second expression doesn't have a y. The third expression does have a y. And then finally, when I see z, I'm going to fill that in with the number -8. First expression does not have a z. Second expression has a z. And third expression has a z. So if you need to pause right now and catch up, that would be wonderful. So put it on pause. So what I'm asked to do is to fill in or substitute for the letter x using the number -4. So I'm going to write -4. Then for y, I'm asked to substitute 9. So filling in for y is the number 9. And now this is very important. Whatever sign they give me drops down in between. And now I have enough information to evaluate this, which means find the answer to it. When it was just x plus y, I couldn't do anything else until they gave me numbers to substitute. I can see that these two numbers are different signs, so I'm going to go ahead and take 9 minus 4, since they're different signs. That would give me 5. And then I have to decide whether it's more positive or more negative value. I can see that 9 is positive, so my answer is positive. So let's try this again. This time I see z, and so filling in for z will be -8. So right below where the z is, I'm going to fill in -8. Then I see x, and they told me from the beginning that if I see an x, I'm supposed to fill in or substitute -4. So I'm going to write -4. Now here's where the tricky part comes in. They gave me a minus, and I don't want to confuse it with that negative. So I'm going to go ahead and enclose that so that I know that's -4 and bring this minus down. So I have -8 minus -4. And if you're like me, this doesn't look that pleasant. So I think, and I'm going to do this underneath for the sake of time, I'm going to use my KCC rule, my keep, change. I'm going to keep the -8. I'm going to change the minus to a plus, and I'm going to change the number that's -4 to its opposite, so that'd be +4. Now we don't ever want to do a keep, change until after we've filled in or substituted the numbers. So now that I have -8 plus 4, again, they're different signs, which means I'm going to take the highest absolute value minus the lowest absolute value. I'm going to get 4. And now I have to decide whether that's positive or negative. Well, I can see the number that has the highest absolute value is negative, so I'm going to keep this number negative. So it's -4. So I'm going to give you a minute, see if you can substitute for z, y, and x. All right, check back and see if you agree with this. Now we have to drop down the signs that are given. So in between -8 and 9 is a plus, and in between 9 and -4 is a minus. But again, I want to make sure that I don't confuse my minus sign with my negative sign. So I'm going to enclose that -4 into parentheses. As I look at this, it looks like I'm going to need my keep, change, or add a line, change the sign. I'm going to keep 8. We keep our pluses always. Since we keep our pluses, we keep the number behind it. And here I come up with my first minus. I'm going to change that to a plus, which means I change the number behind it. So now my expression is ready to go. You can choose whatever method you like to add. For instance, since it's all adding, you could add the 9 and the 4 first if you prefer. It's up to you. I think I'm just going to take them 2 at a time. So I'm going to take the -8 and the 9. They're different signs, so I'm going to subtract. And I'm going to have a positive 1 because the highest absolute value of those two numbers is 9, and it's positive. I'm going to drop down plus 4 because I didn't use it, and now I just have 1 plus 4, and the final answer is 5. Okay, please turn to the back. All right, I'm just going to ask you to do 3 problems for tomorrow. Please have them ready to go so we can discuss them. It says, first, substitute the correct number for each of the given variables, then evaluate the expression. So again, I think the highlighter method might be the most efficient. Every time I see A, I'm going to let A equal -4. B is going to be +10. When I see C, I'm going to substitute -7. And when I see D, I'm going to substitute -5. So right off the bat, I'm going to scan my problem to see if I have any A's, and I certainly do. So where that A is, I'm going to fill it in with what number? I'm going to fill it in with -4. And then B, I'm going to fill in with 10. What else do I have to remember to do? If you said you need to bring down the addition sign, you are correct. So we're going to bring that down, and now we can evaluate it. What do you think the answer is? If you said 6, you are correct. How did we get 6 out of -4 plus 10? If you said that we subtracted, you're correct because these are different sign numbers. Let's try the next problem. Please fill in C and D and show me your expression. So we substituted -7 and -5, and again we want to remind ourselves to drop down that sign. What is the final answer, or what is this when we evaluate it? How did we get from -7 plus -5 to -12? If you said we added because of the same sign, you're correct, and we kept the sign. Try 3 on your own. These are tricky when they have a minus sign because we don't want to confuse this minus sign with our negative sign. So a good way to keep from doing that is to enclose your negatives in parentheses. So now what do you think we need to do? If you thought KCC or add a line, change the sign, you are in good shape. This is going to help us with this number. So we kept the 10, we changed the minus to a plus, and the -7 becomes +7. Please evaluate this and state the answer. Good job. We will try the rest of this in class tomorrow so we can have more practice together.